It's no secret the NBA players make a ton of money. However, some of them can back that up on the hardwood. Most of the league's top players live up to their big contracts. That's why some teams frequently finish at the bottom of the standings after spending much too much money on players who fail to live up to their contracts. However, there have been numerous cases where a team gambled and it backfired. Here are the NBA's current worst contracts. Ben Simmons. Drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers as the first overall pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, Australian-born Ben Simmons came into the league with lofty expectations. A talented ball handler known for exceptional defensive skills, Simmons' shot creation ability would only add to the allure. To that end, the Sixers signed him on a 4-year, $26.2 million rookie-scale deal. However, when 2019 rolled around, Ben Simmons signed a max rookie extension worth $177.2 million for a tenure of 5 years, which was supposed to tie him to the franchise until the 2024-2025 season. As we all know, things didn't go as planned. And after facing severe criticism for his role in the Sixers' postseason defeat at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks, Simmons demanded a trade. The 26-year-old was eventually traded to the Brooklyn Nets just before the 2021-22 trade deadline after a highly publicized disagreement with this franchise. Currently, Simmons is on a 5-year deal, which ties him with the Nets at least until the 2024-25 NBA season. But after a long tenure of disappointment, the contract does not seem to be worthy for the team. Rudy Gilbert. Rudy Gilbert reached an agreement with the Utah Jazz on a 5-year, $205 million contract extension in 2020, making him the highest-paid center in NBA history. Many NBA fans, players, and experts were left scratching their heads wondering why Gilbert deserved such a large sum of money. Is averaging 16 points, 15.1 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks enough to justify a salary of more than $30 million per season? Notably, the Gilbert transaction was so large that it effectively destroyed the market for Kevin Durant. Simply said, the Nets would never be able to overcome the PR damage of paying the same or less for KD as the Jazz did for Gilbert. Also, how will he blend along with Karl Anthony Towns? He's tremendously overpaid and was just exposed in the playoffs for being unable to guard the perimeter at all. Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is widely regarded as one of the most visible, prolific, and successful NBA player of the last decade. Despite playing beside an all-time great like Stephen Curry for his whole professional career, he has carved out a Springfield-worthy career for himself. However, Klay's career has suffered a significant setback. Klay averaged 19 points and 39% three-point shooting during their previous championship run. Klay's form, on the other hand, had fallen from the sky by the start of the new season. Thompson is shooting a dismal 35% from the field and 33% from three, and he's no longer the defensive stopper he once was. Klay earns $40 million this season and will earn $43 million the next year at the age of 34. He's significantly underperforming according to his contract. James Wiseman. In his debut season, Wiseman, 21, averaged 11.5 points and 5.8 rebounds in 39 games. He missed all of last season due to a torn meniscus and a series of setbacks in his recovery. The Golden State Warriors signed James Wiseman to a 4-year, $39,619,840 deal, with $39,619,840 guaranteed and an annual average salary of $9,904,960. Wiseman will make a base salary of $9,603,360 in 2022-23 and a dead cap value of $9,603,360. Unfortunately, James Wiseman's NBA career has not gotten off to the start he or the Golden State Warriors might have expected. But the Warriors' lottery positioning in 2020 due to injuries to players allowed them to practice some tolerance with him as he developed behind the scenes, and the team continued to triumph. Markelle Fultz. The Washington product was widely regarded as the finest drought prospect in 2017. The Philadelphia 76ers traded up to obtain him because he appeared to be the missing piece for a youthful group that already included Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Dario Saric. Following the 2020-21 NBA season, the 22-year-old was set to become a restricted free agent. He could have potentially signed a qualifying offer worth around $16 million, allowing him to become an unrestricted free agent in 2022. Fultz will be an unrestricted free agent in 2024-25 after receiving a guaranteed $35 million over the next 3 years. Despite the fact that he was unable to participate for the majority of the season, he was paid $16.5 million under the deal. If he can regain his previous form and contribute at a career-high level, as he did before tearing his ACL, the contract might prove to be a fantastic one for the Magic. Now that we're done with the non-shooters, let's take a look at shooters on the list. Duncan Robinson. Robinson has been one of the biggest targets for criticism from Heat fans the past 2 seasons. After breaking the franchise record for single-season three-pointers in 2020, he received a huge contract before the start of the 2021 season. Since signing, Robinson's production declined, and he fell out of the starting lineup last season. Robinson agreed to a 5-year, $90 million contract in 2021, which was the largest deal for an undrafted player. At the time, Duncan had proved himself to be an essential supplementary unit of the squad, primarily due to his reliability. The Miami Heat are currently 10th in the East and 11 wins to 14 losses. The record is not entirely Robinson's fault, but he's not helping the case with his performances. Next, we have Davis Bertans. The sharpshooter Davis Bertans signed a whopping 5-year, $80 million contract with the Washington Wizards. In 2022-23, he'll make a base salary of $16 million. Bertans' role is to come off the bench and hit three-pointers. That is his sole job. And while his shooting rate has been consistent, his output has dropped significantly this season. He dropped from 15 points per game to 11 points per game. To justify the inflated salary, a veteran whose calling card is hitting deep balls needed to average at least 15 points per game. He also shot substantially fewer shots this season than he did last. Bertans attempted 11.5 field goals per game last season. He averaged only 8.4 attempts per game after signing his deal. He should have gotten more rebounds, at least on the defensive end for someone his size. During the regular season and playoffs, he averaged just under 3 rebounds per game. The stats certainly do not justify the lump sum, lengthy contract that he owns. Tobias Harris. Philadelphia 76ers forward Tobias Harris is a perfect NBA player. He was a fringe all-star last year, averaging 18.3 points, 7.6 rebounds, and a career-best 3.9 assists this season. The problem for the Sixers is that the NBA isn't a vacuum. It's a league with a set salary cap, and Harris's 5-year, $180 million contract makes it challenging for them to build a championship-caliber supporting cast around all-star center Joel Embiid. Regardless, Harris's recent struggles have made him a lightning rod for criticism. That's mostly because of the expectations that come with his contract. Bradley Beal. As a basketball player, we're approaching the stage where many people underestimate Bradley Beal heading into the next season. On a dollar-for-dollar basis, his contract does not appear to be as excellent as some of the other top-paid contracts in the NBA today. There's been a lot of backlash since Bradley Beal agreed to terms on his new contract with the Washington Wizards. He's coming off a season in which he shot significantly worse than he ever has in his NBA career. The deal will never be close to being a steal for the Wizards. And finally, we have Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook currently has the worst NBA contract. He'll make $47 million next season and is coming off what was probably the worst season of his career. Not to mention, he refused to be held accountable and make changes. Westbrook is a first-ballot Hall of Famer, a future MVP, and one of the generation's best players. Nonetheless, no one wants anything to do with him or his lucrative deal. Russell Westbrook's salary breakdown for the 2022-23 NBA season based on his current salary of $47,063,478 is $573,945 per game. To put his slide into perspective, if he's dealt, he'll almost certainly be bought out, and he'll be able to negotiate a veteran minimum deal. And that concludes our list of the worst NBA contracts for 2022-23. Who's been the biggest letdown player so far this season? Hit the comments and share your thoughts. Give us a like and subscribe to our channel before you leave. Until we meet again, see ya.